Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to clarify how this practice can help for us to develop our inner awareness. So, out of this whole meditation practice, our main purpose is develop our awareness. So to develop that awareness, in the beginning, we have to purify our mind. So to purify our mind, we can't do just using by our own thoughts, because the mind gets polluted out of the thoughts. And so through the meditation, we come to a point not to use any thoughts or not to kind of like use our memory, but allow your mind to settle down as it is. So, and at the same time, that the thoughts depend on informations. Thoughts depend on ideas, and thoughts depend on learning. So those are things, it's the kind of like the same repetition from our own history. And sometimes when it comes to meditation, we try to learn things by reflect on our memory, past, and sometimes we go with concept, ideas, and we always have intention to gain something, learn something. We always clinging to know something. But when it comes to the mind, that knowing desire, that learning desire itself create a kind of like a unrest environment inside you. So then just allow your body mind to settle down itself. And in this very moment, right now, to be here, what you need to learn? You don't need to learn anything like that way. That you are capable to understand what is happening right now within your own body and mind. So rather than creating any kind of bodily, verbally, mentally actions, are you capable to observe that? So in the beginning, that is very important. And then what you observe It's become a mental object, and at the same time the observer. So you have to learn to see the very behavior, very nature, the very character of the observer also. That is what we mostly forget. We always go with eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, object, object, object. And we develop the desires, wanting, or we go behind it. And out of that, we bring the creativity, creation, again and again, again and again. But we totally forget, who is this observer? Who is this experiencer? So through meditation, in the beginning, the very first step, we slowly detach from the outside perception, and that detachment creates some kind of space for you to settle down. And once you settle down, you start to observe the very nature of the observer, the very condition of the mind, the very condition of the thoughts. So that way, because most of time, sometimes that people doesn't have it. And once you're capable to see that, and then you recognize what is the meaning of change. So yesterday we had this gathering, interfaith gathering in this San Fernando Valley. And then there was a gentleman, I met one guy, and this gentleman had the near-death experience. And he had a question about the mind and the consciousness experience, that what happened to him. So I would like to bring that conversation today. And because he understood that, and after that, what happened. So this gentleman, then he fell down, and then suddenly his consciousness came out of the body, and he started to see his own body lying down on the ground. And he felt so relaxed and comfortable, free. And then he saw the doctors and everybody that is struggling, and how this body to wake up. And he felt kind of like he don't want to go back. He felt like more comfortable here. But still then he felt that still he don't want to release the body. He still recognized, this is me, this is me, this is my body. That connection, body and mind connection. Still he don't want to detach from that. And then finally he thought, it's okay. I wanna go into it. So somehow he came back. And now his question was, the consciousness is eternal, and that from that day that he always think about this experience, and now he know beyond this physical there is something. So then when when we having the conversation, so he asked me, and what do you think about it? And I told that because I don't know that what he went through and what is his experience, but what I know, that whatever happened that day, and you experience it, and you came back to your body, and today you sit in front of me, and from that day that whoever experienced that, and today that in front of me, the person sitting is not the same person. So you already change. Your mind change. Even that moment of experience change. That's why you back to the body and experience. Then again this, that you now experience this world like this. So this moment will change in the next moment. So rather than hold it to the experiencer, can you see that all events change moment by moment, moment by moment? So that's the very nature of all of us. But the thing is, once we hold it to the experiencer, we forget, we neglect, or maybe we don't know. The experience also change. It's a part of the change. So that's why through the meditation, you bring the awareness, you bring the attention to your moment of experience and see, and not only the experience, and experiencer. That's mean I practice meditation. So this is my inhalation, exhalation. We always like to separate. And when you separate, you develop the dualistic mind. And out of the dualistic mind, comparison arises. And once the comparison is there, and all other unwholesome mental formations can arise. So then can you see the connection? Can you see that when you see something, when you hear something, smell something, taste, feel something, rather than separate it and put it there and separate you and put you into the different place, can you see without that the outside experience, without that perception, can you be an independent self? Or otherwise, when you explain who you are, what you explain, what you introduce as you, your all past experience. So then deeply, when it comes to meditation, just learn to observe rather than separating and creating your own mental viewpoint. So it can take time. So when it comes to liberation or the transformation or the understanding of arising wisdom, there are two ways. So one is sudden awakening. So this sudden awakening, in the past, if you have done many practice, if there is a history related to that, practice the right things, then by the time maybe suddenly your awakening can happen. But most of time, the gradual path, that is the most of time in the Buddha's teaching. And we can see, especially in the Theravada tradition, they mostly talk about this gradual practice, step by step, step by step. And as you know, if I bring a simile, the race in between rabbit and turtle, you know, and rabbit run past, and then by the time got tired, then what happened? Thought, oh, this turtle, it can't walk like that so fast. I want to sleep a little bit. I want to get rest a little bit, and then I can, oh, it is very easy for me. 1-2 minutes, I can run so fast. So I will done this. And what happened? He, he found a very shady tree and had a nap. And he started to enjoy the nap. And by the time it fell down to deep sleep. And because he ran fast a little bit and he got tired, and at the same time, his mind was so comfortable and its mind was so into believe that he will do, and he completely get into, sleep. And the turtle start to keep walking, and then finally finish the race. And the rabbit woke up and look, it's gone. So it can happen to us also. And sometimes we think, oh, enlightenment, oh, it can happen suddenly. No. It can happen in case if you have done your practice already. And then you have to look into your lifestyle and see. If you look very carefully, you will see where you are and where are you heading. Are you heading towards the deep sleep? Or are you heading towards to finish the race? That's what we have to look into. So sometimes ourselves, out of the meditation, out of all spiritual practice, out of that all the good things, out of our generous heart, if you look very carefully, maybe you will look for a very shady tree to have a very good nap, thinking, oh, I will do it. Oh, I have done that, it's easy for me. But when it comes to meditation, tranquility meditation and vipassana meditation, especially in the vipassana meditation, you don't give a chance to have a rest like that. That doesn't mean 24/7 you keep practice for this or like that. No, because you don't over practice. I have done many sessions regarding that. You need some kind of balance, but the intention and the motivation, the will inside you go towards practice. You should never drop until you get into a very comfortable place, very trustworthy place, because sometimes our mind play the game. Our mind play the game. Sometimes look even, that some people, while they're driving, they fall into sleep. Very good drivers. I know well-known, well-experienced drivers. And they used to drive with a lot of that heavy vehicle, but sometimes they fall into sleep. And I asked one day from one of my friends, what happened, how it happened? And he told me, you open your eyes, you keep driving, and you see everything, but you believe that you see, you believe you're driving, but you sleep. And then you get hit, and that's. So, and sometimes while we're watching TVs, movies, and we fall into sleep. And sometimes reading books, we fall into sleep. But still we think, oh, I read, I can do this, I read. But we fall into sleep. After many hours, when we wake up, oh, what happened? And sometimes, you want to wake up early in the morning. You set up the alarm. And on time, the alarm ring, okay, let me 5 minutes, a little bit more rest, have a little more nap. 5 minutes, I will wake up for sure. Now I know, because, I know the time. And you just close your eyes only for 5 minutes. After 1 hour, you wake up. That's how our mind, that's how it play the game. See that we think, oh, I know this. But we are totally in a different place. So that's why it's nothing wrong with the rabbit skill. But don't underestimate the mental formation or the cankers, your habitual patterns. It's like the kind of like a mafia group, gangsters, underworld gangsters. You know, it's kind of like a drug dealing circle. Why? Because once you enter, it's very difficult to get out. So sometimes our cankers, mental formations, unwholesome, mental formations, also kind of like that. The mainly three poisons: greed, hatred, and the delusion. Once you enter, it's very difficult to get out. So then don't allow the first invitation come out of, and sometimes we overestimate, and sometimes the laziness. So then don't allow it to happen. So, and the gradual awakening path, step by step. And so then while you practice meditation, and moment by moment, and keep the awareness. Don't jump ahead. Just for the moment, whatever in front of you, whatever that in the moment, what you feel, just be with it. So by the time what will happen, your mind slowly disconnect, and that there is a deeper craving in our mind regarding the concept, ideas, learning. So that can we always keep chasing. So by the time what will happen, in the tranquility state, slowly mind will get out of it. And then that our reactions also in day-to-day life, and go with that kind of concept, ideas, learning. So look for something, that's how the reactions also happen. But what will happen after, once you tranquilize the mind, still the reaction can come out of your bodily, verbally, mentally actions, but that's become more natural reactions or the actions, rather than reacting to concept, ideas, or thoughts. So it like this. And before you attain to the enlightenment, you will chop the wood and carry the water. And after you attain to the enlightenment, you will chop the wood and carry the water. But before you attain to the enlightenment, you will chop the wood, carry the water. Behind that action, you will carry the concept, ideas, and imagination, and you will carry the many kind of the unwholesome thoughts. Like as example, you can blame to people, you can blame to environment, weather, maybe chopping wood, and maybe if the wood becomes so hard, and maybe you get mad with the wood, or maybe you have to chop the wood, maybe it's a kind of like a rainy weather, so then you may blame to the weather. And maybe if your children or the friends or the husband or wife, the burn too much wood yesterday, maybe that also make you mad today while you chopping the wood. And when you carry the water, same kind of things will come to your mind. So that's mean what? Before you attain to the enlightenment, your mind will be so cloudy with concept, ideas, imaginations. It's so cloudy. But once you attain to the enlightenment, once you get out of the concept, the thoughts or the ideas, what will happen? Your actions become so natural. There is no deeper intention behind your action and resistance, and there is no any kind of unwholesome thoughts. It's kind of like you will chop the wood and carry the water. And we will chop the wood thinking about how people enjoy the heat, how people cook the food. And even for yourself, you will take it as a great opportunity to give the service to others as a human being. So see the transformation. So and it not going to become depend on ideas or belong to the duties or kind of like that. That kind of things will come naturally from inside you. That is the very beauty of the mind. Because when the mind connected to its natural process, it always, there is a joy, satisfaction going to be there. So in case out of any action, now there is a formula, in case of any out of any action, if you build up unsatisfaction by the time, remember there is some unnatural behavior there. Because if your natural behavior will never lead to that kind of situation. So that satisfaction bring, and that not only the satisfaction, and it will take you to deeper understanding. And when you carry the water, the same. So before you attain to the enlightenment, your mind is so cloudy, but now your mind is so free. Your mind becomes so relaxed. So how then in day-to-day life, how you can get out of this cloudy, busy mind? So then it is a gradual process, step by step, little by little, little by little, you have to push your limit forward. So for that, the very first thing that you have to beat, the laziness. And that the laziness will come with the most of time cowardness within our own mental behavior. So look into yourself, and whenever you have opportunity, and try to get out of the laziness. So you rest, it is very necessary, but laziness is totally different. Another thing is when it comes to the laziness, and always it slowly attack to your awareness. So then remember, in day-to-day life, always look into yourself and look how your behavior, and then you will recognize deeper in you, are you growing this laziness? Because as you know, when it comes to the Buddha out in his life, after when he attained to the Nibbana, in that very as a last word, what he mentioned, don't be lazy, don't delay, don't neglect. So why it is very important that all the unwholesome things can happen once the mind become lazy. So when it come to meditation, when you put the awareness, we have the mental object, and when you put the awareness toward the mental object, always guard your practice from laziness. So for that, when once you feel lazy, so one of the thing that you can deeply, while you keep the same posture, you can deeply breathe out few times. So that will wake up the system. Or maybe another one, if your body still doesn't work, you can lift your tongue and push it to upper palate and hold it little bit, and that way the body will warm up. And in case it doesn't work, you can go to a little bit more a stronger way to wake up the body. That is one thing, is you deeply breathing and hold the breath and don't let it go and keep it. And maybe you mentally can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so like that. And then deeply breathe out through mouth. So that is one thing. You can do it few times, then the body will warm up and you go to again practice. Even in day-to-day life, when you feel any laziness, you can do that, and naturally you can bring the warmth to you can wake up. And if it doesn't work like that way, you can breathing deeply, and while you breathing, when the breathing in, you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like the duration of the breath. And then when the exhalation happens, you count the duration of the exhalation. So that way also, your body will wake up. And if the body doesn't work like that way, while you're sitting slowly, you can move your posture a little bit. You move your upper body little bit back and forth. You can move your head a little bit, and you can do little stretching. And then by the time, if you feel still lazy, then you can stand up and get into walking meditation, and then come back to sitting. And it still is the sleepiness, you can, drink some water, and then you can. But if you have that, still that it doesn't work like that way, it is better you take a little rest, and not to practice, not to struggle, and not to practice, and you go and have a nice nap, and then you come back and practice. So like that, you have to use the methods to break it down and see how you can overcome it. But at the same time, you have to do it in a very gentle way. But being gentle doesn't mean you allow your mental formations or the cankers to give a chance to overtake it. So that's why you become wise, you become mindful, you give a chance, but sometimes you have to be hard on you also. So recognizing that and keep the balance is up to you. That's why knowingly your mind is the best. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck, head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Supatveva, or may I be well and happy, 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please, and find the sensation. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens through the sensation, recognize it. Do nothing extra. Bring my attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this with clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata cha ammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhamma nu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Addaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless.